Bruce, aka Geektacular from WrestleGeek Weekly. I'm here with Sean
Hopkins, WrestleGeek Weekly, WrestlingNewsWorld.com.
And where are we? Where are we?
We're at the live TNA house show at Charlottesville, Virginia, John Paul Jones Arena. We're sitting here at intermission. Bruce, what did you think of the first half?
I thought it was pretty badass. There were a few good. Which match was your favorite?
I think so far, out of the matches that we've seen so far, AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels, probably the best thing we've seen.
Yeah.
What was your favorite?
I would have to say that one was pretty good, but Joe and Magnus versus Crimson and Matt Morgan was pretty good too.
It was pretty awesome. So I think we're going to go ahead and see what the second half of the show has to bring us, and might, continue this maybe on the ride home. How about that?
For sure.
All right, sounds good.
WrestleGeek Weekly.
Surprise!
What's going on?
This is Bruce, aka Geektacular. You are watching WrestleGeek Weekly. I think this is episode 4.
Something like that. I don't know. We'll call it 4.
I think so. It's February 27th, 2012.
We are a day late. Hopefully you'll forgive us. We've got a special, brand new, in-person edition of WrestleGeek Weekly. We are broadcasting live from my living room.
It's true.
Last night we went to the TNA Impact Wrestling, I don't know what you want to call it, house show in Charlottesville, Virginia. And instead of doing our usual discussing the weekly events, we're going to focus on last night where we went to the Impact Wrestling show. Talked about what we had fun with, what we liked, and how it was a lot different than the weekly Impact that you might see on television.
Yeah, it was. I don't know about you. I had a lot of fun.
I had a blast. I'm glad I'm not hoarse today. I know both of us. We're chanting and cheering the bad guys and having a great time. We brought Bruce's brother Nathan along with us, co-host of another Geektacular web show.
Yeah, he's the co-host of Instant Gratification, which if you've never seen it, go on over to Geektacular.TV and take a look. It's pretty
Please
good.
go check it out. I'm sure that this week's episode it'll provide her some interesting viewing. I can promise.
All right, so I guess do you want to go down the card of the show we saw?
Yeah, let's hop right in. They started off. Well, let's talk first. The John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville was where they had this show. The arena itself is pretty large. I saw a WWE event there a couple months ago, and WWE couldn't fill up the stadium, so I wasn't expecting a lot in the way of crowd for Impact. Do you want to talk about how the crowd was, Bruce?
It was about. I think the crowd went about maybe like 15 rows back or so, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge crowd. We got the cheapest tickets available and had great seats. We had a perfect view of the ring. We were actually sitting right behind Mickie James's mother, of all people. So that was kind of cool. But the crowd was a little sparse. They only had about half of the John Paul Jones Arena that they were using for the arena. Mm-hmm. And, but even though the crowd was fairly small, they were pretty vocal. They played along. They played their role. Everybody was cheering. Everybody was having a great time, and it was a really good crowd last night. I can't say that. And let's go ahead and jump into the first match we saw, which was billed for the X Division Championship. Austin Aries versus Alex Shelley. What did you think about this one?
I thought it was good, but it seemed like they could have done, I think, a lot more with it. It was kind of like, it wasn't bad, it was just sort of like mediocre.
It didn't really seem like an X Division match almost. It had a little bit of a quicker pace, but it just seemed to be a quicker pace singles match. There wasn't a lot of high flying, and I feel like we even may have gotten that a bit more from some of the other matches, more so than we got it out of Aries and Shelley. So I was a little surprised about that. But it was a solid match, which is unsurprising. Those two have known each other for years, teamed together in ROH, they teamed together in TNA before, so they know each other well. It was a good match, just I think we were both hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah, it seemed pretty short too, so.
It was in the opening slot, so they were really just trying to get the crowd going.
Yeah.
the crowd showed that they were pretty hyped up pretty quick into the match. So that was good. It got things started off on the right foot.
Yeah. So I guess the second match of the night,
The Knockouts tag match.
Yeah, Knockouts tag match with Mickie James
and Velvet Sky.
Velvet Sky versus Gail Kim and
Angelina Love.
Yes. I was trying to remember. Yeah.
We did go last night, so that cut us a little slack.
What do you think about that one?
I thought it was a good match, and a lot of people, when you go to a WWE event, the Divas match is usually reserved for a bathroom break or a time to go to the concession stand and get another beer, get another soda. But these ladies really put on a good match, and the Knockouts are known for really solid wrestling in their women's division. And I had no problems with this match here. I enjoyed it. Mickie James was super over, as you would expect her to be, being billed from Richmond, Virginia. And I want to talk about the Earl Hebner thing before this match. Do you want to talk about what happened there?
You mean with the kissing? That thing?
Well, no, not that. We'll get to that. But I'm more talking about with the T-shirt.
Yeah. He's milking the Bret Hart screw job thing.
Which a lot of you, if you've ever read the TNA house show results, you know that this has been going on for a long time. But I didn't know that he had taken it quite this far. First of all, he was surprisingly over. He was. A lot of people were cheering for him, and I saw more people buying his T-shirt than anybody else's, which surprised the hell out of me.
I didn't even know that he was popular with people. I mean, I always assumed that people hated it.
That's what I thought. Now I think he does get a lot of heat, around the country, but they billed him from Richmond, and people loved him. They were cheering for him. I couldn't understand it. We were very vocally chanting "You screwed Bret," as we should have been. And
I thought that was the thing to do.
And even though he was over, he still pulled off his referee shirt to show his "Damn right I did it" T-shirt, and then put on the Bret Hart wraparound shades and did a little strutting around the ring. It was completely bizarre. Seemed a little out of place for a good guy to be doing that.
It was very weird.
And we'll get to something else about Earl Hebner pretty soon here. So don't you? Two more things.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So let's the match. Do you want to talk about the kissing?
Oh yeah. The match was actually going along really well. It was really good. They were having some good sort of drama up to the tags and things like that. There were some good spots here and there. It was actually people were getting excited about the match, and they kind of I guess it was sort of near the end of the match a little bit.
Yeah, it was right around it was a couple, it's probably the last minute or so.
Yeah. And then the match kind of broke down, and Earl Hebner started Catching
Angelina Love.
Yeah. Catching them when they would get bumped, and he would kiss them, and they were trying to hype everybody up to cheer for him making out with them. It was very
it was awkward.
Yes.
Didn't feel right.
It was very weird, and the match was going along perfectly fine before this happened. And then they took 2 or 3 minutes to do this whole thing about him kissing them before the match was over.
So we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And look at the match without that. Good match.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. It was really good. I thought they all did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
It was believable. It was very good.
It was. And they continued on with the tag team matches. And the next match that we saw was for the TNA Tag Team Championships. Samoa Joe and Magnus, who are the champions currently, taking on Matt Morgan and Crimson. And let me tell you, neither Bruce nor I are very big fans of Crimson, but you see how inexperienced he is when you see him at these live events, and he can't be saved by jump cuts and clever editing. His offense leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, in that match, I barely remember him being there, let alone doing anything memorable.
It was pretty much just punch, 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 suplex, that repeat.
Right.
Over and over again.
Yeah, like I thought that everybody else in that match did pretty well. I thought.
Yeah.
Even Matt Morgan was pretty good.
He's got some great big man offense, but Crimson just doesn't do it for me. I know that they're trying to push him as the second coming of Goldberg. I don't buy it.
But one telling thing after the match was over, basically him and Matt Morgan lost due to a miscommunication.
Crimson ended up spearing Matt Morgan.
Yeah.
And that led to Joe and Magnus doing a finishing combo.
And they spent the next minute or two after the match, after Joe and Magnus had left, arguing with each other.
And Crimson did eventually end up walking out on Morgan and heading to the back just by himself. So, I mean, they've been teasing that for a long time. I think we even mentioned that in one of our very first shows that we were just kind of ready to see it, and that's why we wanted to see Joe and Magnus win the titles in the first place. So this was overall a good match, though. It's really amazing to see how well Joe and Magnus work, considering that they were just thrown together and having been teaming all that long.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was really good. They ended it with their kind of signature slam and then the
elbow out of the corner. Yes.
It was very cool to see.
Yeah, it was nice to see. And Joe looked like he was just having a great time. You know, the crowd was overwhelmingly in favor of Morgan and Crimson. There were little pockets of Joe and Magnus supporters here and there, but Joe really just seemed to be enjoying himself. And that, we commented a couple times when we were watching the show last night. That just makes it all the more enjoyable for fans like us to see those guys and know that they're having a great time in the ring, to provide entertainment and give us a great time out in the audience.
Yeah, it was a really fun match to watch. So I'm glad we got to see that.
Absolutely, and
for sure.
Then we had you could call it the semi-main event. It was the last match before intermission. We got to see Christopher Daniels, accompanied by Kazarian, taking on AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
That match was actually really good. It went on for a really long time. I think they billed it having a 20-minute time limit or something. But it was one of the best matches of the night, I thought.
I thought it was probably the match of the night. It didn't get the biggest reaction of the night. And the ending was a little screwy. I'm okay with that, but I thought it was the match of the night, personally. But those two guys, they're another set, like Aries and Shelley, where I think I said in my write-up for WrestlingNewsWorld.com that they could have a good match, with their eyes closed, and if both of them had the flu, they could pull off a good match, in no matter what conditions. And this was a good example of that. Yeah,
they did. It had one of the most memorable, at least the most memorable single move of the night when AJ Styles reversed the angel wings.
Yeah, into a beautiful hurricanrana. I think all of us thought that he was gonna end up taking it, but really late in that move, he just ended up countering it, and it was pretty neat to see.
And then Styles teased the style clash before the match ended,
which ended with Kazarian holding Styles' foot so he couldn't kick out. So I was a little surprised that they didn't give Styles the win just because of how he's the ultimate big guy. But I guess he's not really ever hurt by a loss. He's one of those special untouchable people, kind of.
Right. But then he does, after the match, he did land the Styles clash.
Yes, and then, it's great to see something like that. They did ultimately want to send the fans home happy. And even though he didn't get his revenge on Daniels, he did get to hit Cash with a Styles clash. So that got a very nice pop to send us into intermission, where Don West, I don't know if I believe you about some of the things that you say. You say that there's a Jeff Hardy action figure and it glows in the dark, and it's the most
it's the rarest action figure
in the world. But you just so happen to find 24 of them in Charlottesville, Virginia for this show. And something tells me that you'll find maybe about 24 more for the next show. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
It's a once in a lifetime find, Sean.
Yes. So after a little bit of questionable information, Don West he told us a pretty interesting fact. Do you remember what that fact was, Bruce?
I believe I do. His claim, which Sean vehemently disagrees with,
I think I called BS within the first 5 seconds after hearing it.
is that I think he said 3 weeks ago, Earl Hebner refereed his 100,000th wrestling match.
Now,
Just look at that face.
that's a suspect comment to begin with. But then, Don West, he didn't make it any better on himself. Because he specifically said, those numbers don't add up. Even if you do the math.
Not just they don't add up, like they tried to calculate it.
And it still doesn't
add up. But still.
And said that the next highest referee had 30,000 matches under his belt. Don West, fool me once with these Jeff Hardy action figures. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. So, forgive me if any of you guys out there, I don't know if Bruce has a special place in his heart for Don West. I don't know if any of you guys, but I've got my eye on you, Don West, and I don't know that I'm going to be believing any of your grab bag deals.
Apparently people love Earl Hebner also, we found out.
Yes,
so
I mean...
you might be drawing the ire of some Earl Hebner fans.
Who knows? Black is white, up is down. In Charlottesville, Virginia. We might be pissing off a good portion of our fan base. Please don't leave us. I promise it gets better.
Anyway, beyond that, they did have one more match of the night.
Two more.
You're
forgetting one of the greatest moments of last night.
Do you want to?
I do. We got Robbie E and Robbie T came out and for a match with ODB and Eric Young, or EY. So that's a lot of initials around there. And before the match, we got a little dance off.
There was a legit dance off.
And I don't know about you, but I found it very entertaining.
I'm pretty sure EY won.
Yes, I think overwhelmingly EY and ODB took it with their stirring dance routine during Baby Got Back.
Yes, the classic tune, Baby Got Back.
And I think it's pretty obvious that ODB and EY do like big butts.
It's true.
They cannot lie.
It's true. There was a lot of butt spanking going on during that.
All throughout the night.
Yes.
There was a little bit in the knockout match. Forgot to mention it. But the match itself, it wasn't a great match. It was a fun match.
Yeah.
It served its purpose well. It got the crowd hot again after intermission and got us up for the main event, which we got psyched out on. Do you want to tell us how we got psyched out on that?
Well,
TNA, you're sneaky.
Keep us on our toes. Yeah. So basically, we had read about recent TNA house shows from recently, and they've all had four-way matches with
tag team.
Tag team matches. Not four-way. Tag team matches with Rude and Bully Ray versus Hardy and James Storm. And they even had announced James Storm and Bully Ray as appearing later. Right. It was like on the website. So, but we hadn't seen James Storm all night or Bully Ray. And when they announced the match, when JB announced it and they came out and everything, it was Hardy versus Rude.
For the world title.
Didn't
even last 5 minutes.
No. And the match didn't even start for like 5 minutes.
Rude spent a great deal of time on the outside, John with fans. And one fan in particular that we would do this, we did not mention. I don't know who he was. We were told that he was a retired professional wrestler. He was an older gentleman, probably in his 70s or 80s. He was giving everybody the claw over the course of the night and talking smack with all the wrestlers. And he and Rude they had a pretty good back and forth.
They did.
And after the World Heavyweight title match, when Ray came in and attacked Hardy from behind, it was thrown out. Storm came out to make the save. It turned it into a tag team match. Said if Rude didn't get in the ring, he would be stripped of his title. We got our tag team match. And even then, it took another couple of minutes for it to start as Rude continued to jaw with the gentleman at ringside. And he was very enjoyable. Bruce and I, we tried to get a whippersnapper chant started, tried to get a back in my day chant started, but the crowd wasn't having it.
Although "Let Them Fight" did come up pretty heavily.
Yes, that was popular.
But
so
they didn't let him fight.
No, it would have been the highlight of my night personally, just to see him put claw on Robert Roode or Bully Ray.
At one point, Storm did call out on the mic that they should let him come up and kick Bobby Roode's ass or something.
And I would have been all for it.
So,
but we didn't get to see it. We did get a good match. It was nothing special. But Bully Ray and Robert Roode lost after they threw Ray out of the ring and hit Hardy with a super kick, or not Hardy, hit Roode with a super kick and twist of fate, and that was it. That was our night. It ended with Jeff Hardy and James Storm in the ring taking pictures with you and your crew.
As many people as you want.
But Bruce and I are cheap, and we did not figure that spending the same amount for a picture as we did on our tickets. So we'll have some pictures from the event for the website. But overall, I think both of us had a great time, and I think, I don't want to speak for him, but what do you think? You think your brother had a good time?
Yeah, I think he did. I mean. We were all shouting the whole time, just giving people crap. It was a lot of fun.
I definitely urge any of you out there, if all you know of TNA is the television show and you're not a fan, I can understand why. But please go check out these live events if they're ever in your area. They're so different, and you just see they give the wrestlers time. You don't have to sit through all this backstage nonsense. You don't have to, and Hogan and Bischoff don't show up. Ric Flair doesn't show up, so you don't have to sit through all these people bragging about themselves. Yeah, it's a good show, and it's definitely worth the money. I can't recommend going to these events highly enough. I definitely would suggest everybody try and do it if it's in your area, and if it's not, please go out and support your own local pro wrestling promotions, because hopefully those guys will end up in these TNA and WWE one day.
I mean, even though TNA is, it's basically the second biggest wrestling organization, they were still pretty forthcoming with their wrestlers and everything at the live show.
Absolutely. They handed out a ton of those backstage passes. They had Aries upstairs autographing things and posing for pictures for free. James Storm and James Storm and Jeff Hardy taking pictures with the crowd. I mean, you had to pay for it, but even still, that's not something that you would get the chance to do at a WWE live event either. Yeah. So I would highly recommend these kind of shows. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I had a great time. Cheap, good times. Yeah, it's a great way to spend a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. If you have the time, have the buddies, get yourself a group together and go out and check out one of these shows. For sure. I think that's about it. Yeah, this was we just wanted to talk about the live event this week. Next week we'll be back into our regular programming. Don't be surprised to hear ROH pop up for one of the first times, as we'll probably be talking about their 10th anniversary show next Sunday. So for both of us here at WrestleGeek Weekly, I'll go ahead and get my plugs in. Check out WrestlingNewsWorld.com for all your wrestling news needs, and check out Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Project on Blogspot. Blogspot.com. I'm currently working my way through Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, every show they've ever done, and reviewing them all. So check those out. Bruce, get in your plugs. You Gotta get out for Geektacular.
Yeah, be sure to go over to Geektacular.TV. Check out all of our shows there. You can go and follow us on Twitter at Geektacular.TV. You can subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/Geektacular.TV. We're on Google+. We're on Facebook.com/Geektacular.TV. You can go over and like us. If you're liking all these WrestleGeek Weekly shows
Let us
and
know.
instant gratification, go over, like us. Takes 2 seconds.
And
Appreciate it.
one last thing before we get out of here, there is big news. Bruce is looking for a potential co-host for a third and possibly fourth Geektacular TV show. So why don't you go ahead and throw that out here, Bruce? Let the people know.
Wow. Okay, so there's. I was actually prepared to talk about this, but why not? Oh my gosh, why not? So
We lost our window for a second.
but all good.
Horrible.
All right, so 2 shows potentially in the works. One is another movie-related show, but this one is exclusively going to be about kung fu movies. The worst kung fu movies to the best ones, doesn't matter. People who have a passion for just any kind of kung fu movie. Probably mostly corny, relatively bad, but possibly maybe good.
Who
Maybe
knows?
diamonds in the rough.
Maybe so bad it is good.
Exactly. So there's one show idea about that might be coming our way. If we have any fans who might be interested in that.
Again, let us know.
And then a 4th show, probably an MMO or World of Warcraft related show might be coming also. So we have a few candidates for co-hosts for that. But if you're watching this and you're interested in either of those, go ahead and email us at info@geektacular.tv and let us know. And I'm always open for co-host suggestions. If you think you might, you know a lot, or you might be, you might just want to.
Or you just don't mind watching a kung fu movie and talking about it for 30 minutes to an hour every week.
Yeah, it's really easy. It's not hard.
No, it's a lot of fun. I can vouch for that.
So yeah, feel free to email us if you think you might be interested, and we can chat. So for Geektacular.TV, I'm Bruce.
I'm Sean.
We'll see you next week.
Do the snap there.